Greetings, my name is Patrick Phancao with the Asset Protection Center. I am an estate planning attorney focused in the field of asset protection and elder law out in the state of California and Florida. Within the universe of asset protection, let's say that you have decided to undertake such a plan, what are some of the language that you want to look out for within those documents? This is what we're going to talk about today. It is called basically planning language, and more specifically, discretionary distribution. Now, discretionary distribution falls mainly into three categories. There is mandatory, support, and discretionary. Let's look at each of them. Mandatory is basically, let's say you have an asset and you chose to appoint a class of beneficiaries to receive it, and you elected a trustee to make those distributions, the individual that will be responsible to obey your instructions. And you have put what is called mandatory language in your clauses. Well, mandatory is basically when a beneficiary has an enforceable legal right to request distribution from the trust. But the problem with that within the context of asset protection is that whatever legal right your beneficiary has, well, guess what? The creditor that's going after the beneficiary has the same legal right. So it's not the strongest form of language. So then you have what is called support. This is where the law categorizes it as an ascertainable standard, something that can be measured. The typical language that you will find is health, education, maintenance, and support. For example, once again, let's use the same instance where a creditor sues one of your beneficiary and he has $1 million judgment. While the trustee is allowed to turn around and say, hey, this lawsuit does not contemplate your health, your education, your maintenance, or support, so I am not legally forced to pay this judgment. Just as in any situation with the law, there are exceptions to those. There is a child alimony and support. There are necessary expenses on behalf of the beneficiary. And then there are the services rendered for the benefit of the beneficiary. And finally, federal or state claims. So you will not be able to protect your assets if you fall into those four types of, if your beneficiary, falls into those four types of creditors. And finally, there is what is called discretionary distribution. Discretionary distribution. Discretionary distribution basically allows your trustee to have full-blown authority to make a determination as to when he or she feels the moment is right to make any distribution to the beneficiary, if at all. So as you can imagine, this is a position where you want to have the trustee be someone that you trust 100%. The way attorneys go about handling these types of distribution, mandatory, support, or discretionary, is through a technique called spendthrift provisions. And that's the type of language you want to look at into your estate plan. So hopefully that you found this to be helpful. If you want to find out more about this, go to www.assetprotectioncenter.com or simply call me at 714-966-2646 and I'll be happy to discuss your situation. Thank you for watching and I will see you next time.